Hey, it's Jag, and I'm sitting here in Albuquerque in an Airbnb, and I'm just about to drink some Balcones Baby Blue Corn whiskey, Texas whiskey. This is not bourbon, not because it was distilled in Texas, um, and I'm not sure why, actually, because it does follow all the regulations of bourbon that I believe. It says it's aged at least 24 months in oak, and we'll get back to that. But that's the minimum requirement for bourbon. Um, it's made in America, and uh, and it's distilled within it's to 94, 92 proof. So it's could be called bourbon, but I think it's just proudly Texas. Right back here it says certified Texas whiskey. So the deal with Balcones is that they are supposedly the first Texas distillery that reopened after Prohibition. So that's their claim to fame, Balcones. And the blue corn thing is a fattier and more mellow tasting corn, blue corn, than yellow corn. And so this is made entirely from blue corn. It's 100% corn. There's no barley, no rye, anything else in there. So it's just blue corn, roasted blue corn. And then it's aged, because Texas is such a brutal environment, uh, the, the, the heat expands the liquid and the cold contracts it. And so that action kind of makes it get more flavor out of the wood, out of the barrel. So what they have done here, why they call it baby blue, is that they've intentionally underaged it. So it's aged 24 months, which is as least as it can possibly be, and still be technically called a bourbon, although this isn't. And they do that because they feel like it doesn't take long for the Texas flavor to inhabit the drink, and they wanted the flavor of the corn to come through. And when they talk about the corn flavor on the bottle, they don't mention flavor at all. They talk mostly about mouthfeel. So it captures the essence of this prized corn with a round nuttiness. They say nutty, roasted overtones, and refined complexity. The mouth feel is viscous with a soft finish. So there's no flavor descriptions in the finish or in the nose. It says it's nutty and smoky. So I've had some of this, obviously. It's a little bit less than half gone. I had some of this, and my people I was sharing it with were giving mixed reviews. Some liked it, some didn't. And I did, but the thing was, when I first drank it, I was always like, it's almost gross. It's almost like I don't like this. And then the finish came along and saved it in my mind. The finish, like they said, it was viscous. There was this creamy kind of, I don't want to say vanilla, but almost like a baked good kind of flavor to it, but very, very subtle. And if it were aged any longer, I'm sure that the oak that's kind of in the foreground as it is would be completely taking over this little bit of erstwhile vanilla that I tasted. All right, but I'm going to taste this again now. What happened is I put this away, and my intention was to make a video with this on the road. And a few days ago, I thought I would just taste it. I had put it away for a couple of months, at least 2 or 3 months. And it wasn't open for long before that. So this has only been open less than 6 months, I would say. So I opened it the other day and tasted some of it. And, well, I was very disappointed. In fact, I didn't finish the pour. I poured it out. So now I'm just curious, like, was that a fluke? And what's going to happen when I taste this Baby Blue, Balcones Baby Blue. So right away, the nose is very alcoholic, like medicinal rubbing alcohol, just not pleasant at all. And granted, this is probably not the best glass to have it in. And by the way, the last time I had it, it was in a paper cup, so that's also not very good because the paper gives a flavor to it and absorbs a little bit from it, so it kind of augments the drink. Glass is the best. This is ceramic, but the problem with this is the shape of it. It's so flat-bottomed and just straight side, so that a lot of nuances just are lost in the ether. So I'm trying to get a smell, but that powerful, pungent alcohol smell just hits me. I got a little bit of wood that time. It's just not making me want to go in and drink it. So if I get really in there, one thing that happens with Texas whiskey is a definite leather, which I've called the saddle. Like I can taste the saddle because it's leather, and it's not only leather, but worn leather, and not just worn, but worn by jeans. You know, like jeans rubbing on leather makes this particular Texas whiskey smell that I like in Garrison Brothers. And the other Texas whiskey that I've had is Giant, which I didn't care for that much. And then Balcones is the third one, and they all have that leather. This one's the lightest, but obviously because it's only been aged 24 months. Oh. All right, so the flavor that I got in the beginning was like a finished wood, stained and varnished wood. And then that sort of like really quickly switched. That turned off, and then what turned on was that kind of cake finish. It's really nice. And the finish lingers, and it turns into a little bit more of like a vanilla. It's too bad that the nose is so offensive. I spend a lot of time with the nose because I don't want to sit here when I'm holding a glass. You know, I'm not always drinking it. And so I spend a lot of time kind of doing this with it. And what I love, what tells me that it's a good whiskey is when it's something that I can just be like, you know, this is enough. I just want to sit here and talk to my friends while this stuff's going up my nose. But, you know, now that I'm doing that and getting it a little bit more diffused, I can get those subtle sweetness notes in the nose. But it's very powerful if you get in there. All right, I'm going for sip number 2, which is always different than the first sip, so we'll see what happens. In the beginning is that leather. The wood note is much less prominent, but that sugar cookie kind of finish comes in. And the mouthfeel is, I will say, it is like a more viscous, more oily kind of feel, especially in the finish. I mean, on the bottle they called the finish soft, which is a good description of it. I don't know why on the bottle they didn't describe the cake or whatever that note is that I'm getting. Like, it's got the flour of the cake, which, and the sweetness, and yeah, so I was about ready to, you know, dump this down the sink after the last time I had some. But I wonder if it was just that paper cup, or what I had for dinner just before drinking it, or something. The more I sip it, the more it kind of changes now. It still, for me, has that lovely, I'm going to go with sugar cookie finish. That's very smooth and soft. But the beginning of it, the nose is sweetening. Either the alcohol is dissipated or I've gotten used to it because it's not as harsh anymore. I'm just going to try a little experiment and seeing if I put fresh from the bottle into the cup, just a few drops of it, to see if it's my imagination or if it's me getting my palate getting used to it, or if it's actually a change. So my thinking is, now that I've poured a few more drops of this in it, that I should get that strong alcohol up front again. Yeah, it seems to be back. It's kind of a burning, rubbing alcohol smell. A little bit of alcohol in the nose there, or I mean, coming out of my nose when I tasted it. No, but I'm gonna have to go ahead and say that this is good. And I'm glad too, because I remembered liking it before. And so then I had that one experience. I thought maybe it had gone funky while it was sitting in the car or something, but no, it's just that it's really subtle. And I think maybe drinking it out of paper glasses is not a good idea to get the best experience. So this is a 94 proof bottle here. I can't remember how much I paid for it, and I'm sorry for that. But if you do see this and you're into something really subtle, I can't overstate how subtle this is. I mean, I was tasting stuff and it was there, but it wasn't strong at all. The first part is the part that's almost, I could see someone not liking it. And it seemed like that part was really hitting me hard the other night when I had it with the paper cup. But the goodness from this bottle is in a subtle form, buried behind a lot of strong, I want to say raw kind of wood. Although I did say finished wood, but what I mean by raw is unencumbered, like a really strong, unencumbered, finished wood feeling coming at you. And then if you're patient and stick with it, each sip kind of redeems itself in the end with a very subtle, baked good kind of sweetness. And I will say that the mouthfeel is really delightful. It's not usual that I have tasted something this silky, velvety. So anyway, that is the long version of what I think about Balcones Baby Blue Texas whiskey. Have a nice day.